get to that next step? Like to actually get some action to happen.
Well, what does it look like?
Are we still talking about the start?
Yeah, I think what it looks like first, I think is, and it's not, I mean, you see videos of the guys playing basketball and stuff like that with the kids.
With the situation, you said something about what can we do to make people want to trust to be in the police force or become an officer. The thing is, it's just like a relationship. You don't trust that person until you get to know that person. Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing. I'm not going to trust you until I get to know you. So that's the same thing with some officers. A lot of people don't trust them until they get to know them. So sometimes, I'm not saying you got to be out walking all the time in the neighborhood, but when they see your face and you speaking and just say, hey, how you doing? It's certain little things that people will start, I feel that you start trusting and believing in certain things because you just gotta. It's more, like I say, I feel like it's like a relationship. I think people, you got to earn my trust. You ain't gonna get my trust from.
Yeah, part of it is being organized. Go ahead, Reggie.
No, I think that's an interesting point because I'm gonna take it a little bit of a different direction, but I think this is very important. That's always the thing, right? Building that relationship. But where does that often start? It often starts with what someone tells you about said person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It often starts with what you've seen or heard about said person, right? So there are many people on this earth that, for instance, they're going to have their thoughts about how we would talk to them based off of us sitting right here. Or based on what somebody down the street might have told them. Mm-hmm. Prejudgment. If you start any relationship based on the information from somebody else and not how the person themselves has treated you, you are going down the wrong path. Yeah. And oftentimes that is where it all starts, right? You ask somebody, oh man, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do this kind of work in my house. And then the next thing out of somebody's mouth is, oh, call such and such. He a good dude. So then when he call you and he come do the estimate and you don't like the price, you call your boy back. Man, he ain't no good dude. He trying to charge me an arm and a leg. Maybe it costs $17,000 to put a new door on the house. Yeah. Maybe it really does. But we often start with what somebody has told us.
True.
To try to cultivate that relationship. And oftentimes when it starts negative, where does that go? And I say all of that to say, if you go in the hood, let's say you're 14 years old in the hood. What's the 17, 18-year-old kids telling you about the cops?
Don't talk
to the cops.
So then when the cops say we would like more kids from the neighborhood as part of the police force, the 14-year-olds are going, nah, man, the 18-year-olds already told me I shouldn't be rolling with y'all. Yeah, that's where and I'm not saying they're wrong. What I'm saying is that's where the divide starts. Yeah. It starts with where people how people cultivate relationships based on what information is put in their head before they go through the experience.
Word of mouth goes a long way.
Good or bad.
Good or bad.
Let me pose this, right? So I think part of it to what you're saying, because first of all, the 18-year-old cat should not be really the ones. We as a community need to be organized. Mm-hmm. The reason why we have a lot of problems is because of the disorganization, the fragmentation that we have, right? And then our leaders...
And who we listen to.
Because our leaders are performing and twerking on BET and acting silly and stupid on camera, right? Or the ones that the politicians want to talk to can barely form sentences. They're rappers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know what the gnat in here is wilding, but right.
This dude is so random.
But it's flying in my face. But I think the thing is, in regards to what I'm saying, is that we have to get organized first, because our community leaders, right? And to be honest, a lot of our community leaders are either entertainers or you have these athletes or these pulpit pimps that's running around here pretending to be preachers, but they are just hustling the people and just trying to hustle the next dollar. So we need real grassroots organization. And that's why I said in earlier today in our conversation in regards to in regards to the political aspect of it, the political aspect of it is not just simply going to vote. The political aspect of it is intelligent black people organizing and getting together and having a real set of whether they're demands, agenda, or whatever, to where we can actually get these things in front of the right people and run the right type of people as far as police commissioner, police chief, and things like that. And that person builds the bridge with or those people, I'd say, build that bridge with in regards to the solutions that you're talking about. It doesn't have to be the whole community talking and speaking to the police, but we have to have true advocates who are advocating for for it to stop, what's happening to stop. But the problem is we don't have really real advocates that are working to do that.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you there, John. You don't have nobody that's really step up. That counts. That's not pointing the finger. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It don't take. It just take it backing of your people to help you out. But anybody can step up and do it. It don't have to be nobody particular. It don't have to be nobody famous. It could be anybody from the neighborhood. It could be anybody. It could be one of us on the platform right here. You could start anything, or just try to, or if it's one that's already out there, you know, I'd be happy to like, hey,
They need the support, but I think,
you know what I'm saying? What can we do to make things better? What can we, if you already got a platform out there, I know, and it might be a lot of them out there right here in the Charlotte area.
In the Charlotte, yeah. I mean, that's where, that's what we can control because we're here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm speaking for. I'm speaking for right now. If we can find, if it is a platform that's out there right now that's already doing this, I would love to hear from them.
Exactly.
So now I could like, okay, this is my opinion. What can we help out? What can I do to make it better? What, you know what I'm saying? Because right now I feel like a lot of us are waiting
for somebody to do
something famous or somebody particular to jump out there instead of doing it ourselves. Because I can't tell you all the football players or all the superstars that's around the Charlotte area, we can't wait for them. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be in the Charlotte area. They not the ones that stand in the local neighborhoods and everything on a regular basis. So
they out there.
They are
doing their own thing, which is, you know, and they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? It's not, but I think what we need to do, and when I mean we, I'm literally talking about we, you know, first it's a conversation, right? Then it needs to turn into an agenda. Then it needs to turn into organization. You know, so all the other platforms out there that are in the Charlotte area, whether, you know, you're different media, different nonprofits, things like that. Let's get organized. Let's talk. Let's discuss these things. If you're serious. Now, if you want clout, if you want to be in front of cameras and talk and be and do that thing and make money off the people, because the truth is now, and let me know if y'all agree, a lot of the, you know, activists that we have out here now are becoming more and more becoming similar to a lot of these, you know, mega preachers that we see that's hustling folk for money.
Just like
am I wrong, or you know, am I tripping?
Nah, you just speaking like what's the young lady from the Black Lives Matter organization that like got in trouble with the whole
the tax evasion.
Yeah, like they said she had like 2 or 3 mansions that she was like hosting. Like it was supposed to be like a hub for them to have meetings and things of this nature. And like now in the media, I'm just seeing they saying that she, like you said, she's avoiding taxes and like she bought these mansions.
Reggie, you had something you was gonna say?
Like,
now, what you're saying that before Reggie say anything, but one thing, we do have people that try to take advantage of the situation.
Yes,
and that's what kills the black community.
And they gonna always be there.
Also, we always have people that just try to take advantage, like, oh, I can go get some money off of this, and that is one of the prime reasons that kills the black community, because we got people that's taking advantage of their own people for the wrong reason. That, like you say, it's not just, and I know we talk about all these different people, but we do have some great people out there. We got some great people. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of great people out there that's there, but we're willing to roll with this person because it sounds good. It looks good. They make it flashy for us, but they don't realize
It's the substance.
Yeah.
Is what,
See,
that's what you need.
we go by visual a lot of times, but not what we hear. We see it, we like, oh, that looks good. But did you hear what they were saying? They didn't tell you not one thing that what they was gonna do. They just give you a lot of air, and then you just soaking it in because it made it look good. Now, the person that gives you the knowledge and breaks you down to you, that's the one we don't pay attention to because we like, oh, he's boring, or he or she boring, and we try to fast through it and everything. That's one thing with us. We have to stop looking at what we see all the time. Now, some things is good now that you see. Now, I'm not gonna knock everything that
It's
you
not
see. But what you see, like they say, the saying said, don't believe half what you believe. Don't believe nothing that you see, but half of what you read.
Jay-Z said some joke. I forgot what it was. What song that was? That song was fire.
It's there, but I can't think. But the thing is, we all are visual people, but we don't do our research. A lot of us don't do research. We don't look up on it, or we just look up on. We see certain things. We're like, oh, they doing this, but we don't read the rest of it.
And again, go ahead, Reggie.
It's interesting. I want to hit on the research thing, and then I'm gonna go backwards to something John said first. The research thing is interesting to me because research is also about where you're going to find your information, right? So for the people out there that are watching and listening, that one person on the end of the internet that finally said the BS that you wanted to hear, that is not a reputable source.
Yeah.
I'm just going to help you figure that out right now. That is not a reputable source.
Google is not a source.
It's because oftentimes because and the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of times and a lot of situations to where you hear people saying information is false, because it's not what they want to hear. And then the minute they hear what they want to hear, then they say that's the truth. That don't make it true, right? Just like they always say, just because it's on the internet, don't make it true.
Exactly.
So you got to watch that. Getting back to something John said, I think is very, very important. John said we have to do and went through the process, right? You said that. What's so interesting to me is that we, and really more importantly, the word I think needs to be used more. Societally, we get so caught up in telling the next person what to do. Right? My main realm of life, right, and what I do and how I earn my money and put a roof over my head is sports. And I hear people all the time saying, the owner of this team needs to do this. Sounds good, right? We hear it all the time about basketball teams. Yeah. Spend this amount of money so we can win a championship. Okay, then they got to pay the luxury tax. Real quick, for people at home, paying the luxury tax means because you paid this amount of money, you got to write another check
to cover
the fact that you already broke the rule per se.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask the people at home: if something costs $20, but the store charging you $30, and you say, "Well, I got the money to pay $30," what if I come and ask you for an extra $20 because you paid $30? You're not gonna do that, right? Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
So how you gonna tell somebody else what to do with their money? So getting back to the point of what John said, how are we gonna tell the next person how they should be an advocate? You go be the advocate that you want to be, and let the next person be the advocate they need to be.
Yeah.
That's where our problem lies. We are so caught up in trying to tell the next person what to do, we don't know what the hell we doing.
That is true.
And when you watch the best organizations and the greatest leaders and all of those things historically that we've seen, it's because they've gone about it their certain way, and people fall into the spots that they need to fall into and do the things that they need to do. It's not because it's a whole bunch of people telling everybody what else to do.
Yeah, the thing is that you have to know what you're trying to stand on and be uncompromising in regards to that stance. Like, I know there's certain things that I am not going to advocate for. There's certain things that I'm not going to promote. I'm just not going to do it because it's against who I am as a person. So, certain people may have not agreed with Malcolm X. Certain people may not have agreed with MLK. Certain people may not have agreed with the Black Panthers or the Nation of Islam, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But their methods were effective because
Everybody went about their own.
They went their own way, but they were uncompromised in regards to the way they did it. They didn't compromise. They didn't sell themselves out. They didn't sell the people short. Because everybody has different methods of doing a particular thing. But it's more so, it's like, all right, is this way effective? Is this going to get to the goal that you're trying to get to? And I think if us as a collective do that, then we don't have anything to worry about. You know, but you first have to have standards. You first have to have morals and principles that you stand on. A lot of times, you know, we have folk in our community whose morals and principles waver depending on how big the check is. And like to what you were saying, Dwayne, people taking advantage of
the situation,
taking advantage of people. We, as a collective and individuals, have to do a better job vetting people who, quote unquote, say that they're advocates for us. Just because somebody gets a camera put in front of them, or CNN or Fox or whoever puts a camera in front of this black person saying that they're for our people doesn't necessarily mean they're for our people. Because maybe there's a reason why that person has a camera in front of their face and not somebody else. Maybe there's a reason why this person is getting a megaphone and a platform instead of somebody else that we do know who deserves it. So for my people who are listening and watching, send us your thoughts. Send us your comments. Send us what you think and what you feel about what you've heard. Because do we have the answers? No, we ain't got all the answers. But I think the conversation is important because it starts with a conversation, but we don't want to keep it
at a conversation. And, you know, like we talked about, if you're out there and you believe in what we believe and what we stand for, then we're open to hearing you. So. Feedback.
Yeah. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Want to cut this off?
It's always real up in here. That's all I can tell you. It's always real up in here.
All right.